Good morning. This is Dr. Bob, and I want to thank you for coming back today and joining us. This is going to be a series of how the human body works, and we're going to try to keep this pretty simple, because I find that most of us really don't want to know how the real inner workings work. It's just I remember one day I was at a car dealership, and this young lady was trying to purchase a car, and the salesman was trying to explain to her how the gear ratios of the transmission were put together, and how the motor was built, and how all the inner workings of the injectors, and she really kind of glazed over. She really wasn't interested in how all that was going to work on the car, or how it was built, or anything. She wanted to know a few things. She wanted to know what kind of fuel mileage you got, what kind of fuel you had to put in it, whether it was a comfortable car, did it have air conditioning, did it have a radio, and did it have power windows. Was it a nice car to drive, and did it look okay? And how much did it cost? Well, sometimes we can over-intellectualize things. It's just like I'm filming this today on my iPhone. It's an amazing piece of technology. I don't really know how it works. I don't understand all the technology in it, but that doesn't disqualify me from being able to understand how to use it, and how to make a phone call, or how to film, do a video on this thing, and then publish it on the internet. And so we're going to keep this simple. There's a lot to the human body, and we're going to try to stay focused. And I'm going to try to work with this. There's a lot you can't cover a whole lot in 10 minutes on each thing. So we're going to break this down into little bite-sized pieces, and over time you will start to develop an understanding of how your body works, why it does certain things, what kind of foods you should really feed it, and what to expect under certain conditions. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about today is the living cell, the purpose and function of any living organism. Basically, they do the same things. They use nutrients. They metabolize the nutrients into energy and perform a certain function, and then they expel their waste. Now, all cells pretty much do the same thing, everywhere from a single cell organism clear up to a 6 trillion cell organism like the human body. They all do the same thing. Every cell in the body has to do the same 3 things. So to boil it all down into simple terms, all 6 trillion cells have to, 1, get nutrients like oxygen and nutrients. They have to perform their specific task, whether they're a heart cell or a brain cell or a muscle cell, but they still need the nutrients, the same nutrients, to perform that task. And then once they finish metabolizing that energy to perform that specific task, they have to expel their waste. And it doesn't make any difference. All things work kind of the same way. You have jet airplanes. You have to put a specific kind of fuel in them. They have to perform their function by burning the energy, and then they expel their waste. Cars do the same thing. You put gasoline in cars. Lawnmowers are the same. Motorcycles, even the cell phone has to have energy to function. It performs a certain function, and then it has an output, which would be, a video, or actually the waste would be the radiation that it puts off to perform those functions. Now, one of the things that we need to really understand here is that all cells in the human body, basically, and we've talked about this, have to function the same way. Whether it's a heart cell, it has a specific function, but essentially a heart cell is just a bunch of cells. They're just, it's a specific function, but they are all doing the same thing. You have lung cells. Yes, they're specifically designed to do a certain function in your body, but they're basically just a bunch of cells. You have your liver cells. They do a certain function as well, but they're basically a bunch of cells. They have to have energy. They have to have nutrients and oxygen. They have to have, they metabolize that energy, and then they expel the waste to perform a certain function that they do. All your cells in your body are basically just a bunch of cells. They do the same things. So once we boil that down, what causes cells to go do the right thing or do the wrong thing? Well, that's going to be a part of the next series that we're going to be talking about, but we're going to just touch on it right now. The pH in your body will determine how well your cells function. It's just like anything else. If you can imagine having a fish bowl at the house or an aquarium, and you have to feed your fish. You have to oxygenate the water, but as the fish live in that water, what has to happen next? The water has to be cleansed on a regular basis, and so you're basically doing the same thing with your own body. You have to feed it. You have to metabolize, and you have to expel the waste. Now, what I find out is that most people have a lot of acids that build up in their system, and that causes the pH level in your body to drop. Your human body has to live in a certain environment. All those cells have to be pH neutral in many cases. Now, you have a range of pH that your body can live with, but it has to stay within a pH of about 6 to a pH of 7.5 to 8. Now, a higher pH level means that you're more alkaline. A lower pH level means you're more acid. Now, most people, I find, are very highly acid. They have a lot of acid in their system. They have a lot of acid reflux. They have a lot of rashes. They have many different problems that are attributed to acidosis. Now, if you go back and you start thinking about these fish in this fish tank, what happens if you don't clean the fish tank? Yeah, the fish start getting sick. I mean, they're living in their own waste. They're living in their own acids. And what happens is those fish will slowly get sick, and they'll start clumping up in a corner, and eventually they'll get so sick they'll either they'll die, or you'll have to clean the tank, one of the two. And so our human bodies have to do the same thing. We have to eliminate the waste, and many times that the waste is building up in our system. Most of the time it's from the toxins that we are ingesting, either from the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. All these toxins build up in our system, and we have trouble eliminating them because genetically our bodies are not designed to handle the level of toxins that we're exposed to in this modern world today. And so in these series of videos, we're gonna break all this down. We're gonna discuss all this. We're gonna go through it. If you have questions, you can go on to at the end of the video. You can you can email me, and if you have questions, we'll go over the questions. If you have anything that you'd like to share with us, go ahead and send that in as well. And And I'll try to do some question and answers at the end of each one of these things for just a minute or two, and we'll go from there. Don't forget to subscribe to this video on the station, and just we'll see you next time. Tomorrow I'll produce another one just like this one, and peace be with you, and God be with you, and you have a good day.